Hi everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. This is Karen.
Welcome everybody, I am Shane.
Today we're looking at day one of our interesting story and it's called Don Quixote. And the vocabulary words are knight.
Knight.
The knights fought to defend the kingdom.
Adventure.
Adventure.
They went on an adventure across the country.
Vain.
Vain.
She tried in vain to get his attention.
Fourth.
Fourth.
Go forth and live your life to the fullest.
Okay. Magically.
Magically.
The cup appeared to magically float above the desk. That's awesome.
That's scary.
Or maybe I have really good imagination.
Yeah. All right, so we have this character called Don Quixote.
Okay.
Right? And actually, he's given himself this name. He reads a lot,
Yes.
and he's really interested in adventures and being a knight and kingdoms. And I think he starts to think that he actually is a knight.
So he actually has great imagination as well.
That's right.
So he doesn't really see things as what they are.
Yes.
He imagines.
That's right. So one day he decides, I'm going to go on an adventure.
Okay.
But he thinks he needs a squire. Basically, he needs an assistant to go with him, right?
So he went to his neighbor.
Yeah, and he convinces his neighbor, hey, if you go with me, you'll get your own island. I guess if we conquer some land, you can have your own island.
And the neighbor said, okay.
Cool, dude. So he's pretty excited, right? So their first adventure, they go and there's
They came across some windmills, right?
some windmills.
Okay.
But Don Quixote thinks, hey, they're giants.
He sees them as giants.
Right. And his neighbor's like,
They're
just windmills? He's like, no. They magically turned into windmills right before we were going to attack them. So, yeah,
It's kind of fun to, live a life like that, don't you think?
I think so, but I don't know. I don't know how fun it is if you're a little bit crazy.
Well, I guess it's kind of interesting. Let's enjoy his little adventure.
Let's find out more about Don Quixote.
Okay, let's find out more about Don Quixote.
Enjoy.
Don Quixote. Long ago in a small Spanish village, there lived a man who spent all his time reading. He was so immersed in tales of brave knights and grand adventures that he often forgot to eat and sleep. He began to imagine himself as a knight, and after a while, he came to believe that he truly was one. He decided to call himself Don Quixote. Don Quixote thought that, as a knight, he would need a squire, so he went to his neighbor, Sancho Panza. Don Quixote told Sancho that he would give him his own island to rule if he would become his squire. Sancho happily agreed.
Welcome to Live Interactive English Magazine. Today's lesson is called Don Quixote. Day 1. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I am Mike. And yes, Don Quixote is the name of the story. It's a little bit of a strange name, we will admit to that, but if we tell you that it's a Spanish name, that might make the interesting spelling and interesting pronunciation a little bit clearer. What is it again? Don
Quixote.
No, not Don.
No. Don Quixote. Yeah,
Don Quixote.
That X there, it kind of throws everything off, but like Mike said, it's a Spanish word. So just remember, make it sound good. Make it sound beautiful and you can't go wrong. Like Don Quixote.
Lovely.
Don Quixote.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. Okay, let's get started. Long ago in a small Spanish village, there lived a man who spent all his time reading. That's all he ever did. He would read. Seriously, he was so immersed in tales of brave knights and grand adventures that he often forgot to eat and sleep.
Wow. He was really into his books.
He was very immersed in them.
I'm impressed. I think that's a good... As long as he remembered to wash, occasionally.
As long as his hygiene didn't suffer, that should be okay.
Yeah, you can read while eating anyways, right?
There you go.
Tell us about a knight.
Let's talk about knights right now. K-N-I-G-H-T. It's a noun. We're not talking about the dark part of the day. That's a different knight. Here, a knight is a warrior from medieval times in Europe. Yes, a knight is a warrior from the Middle Ages in Europe, and usually knights were known for wearing metal armor from head to toe, and for having high standards for behavior. They had very high standards for things like justice and stuff like that. Usually they like to defend the honor of their ladies and stuff like that. Anyways, for example, the knights fought to defend the kingdom.
Probably on a horse with a sword.
And a lance.
And a lance,
Yeah.
right? To
Like,
knock
they
your...
like to joust.
That's right.
Yeah.
Another knightly activity there. And knights liked adventure, as do people who like watching exciting movies or reading exciting stories or even just having exciting experiences, because that's what an adventure is. And it's an exciting experience or an exciting story. We often talk about adventures or adventure stories. So if anything's really exciting with maybe a little bit of danger, an outcome or an ending that you don't know what's going to happen, that kind of thing would be a good adventure. It would make a great story for a book or just to tell your friends. For example, they went on an adventure across the country. They went on a road trip. They had lots of interesting experiences.
You talking about Indiana Jones?
Yeah,
He goes on adventures all the time.
He does too.
Yeah.
That's true. He's an adventurer.
There you go. Anyways, enough about Indiana Jones. Let's talk about Don Quixote.
Okay.
He began to imagine himself as a knight, and after a while, he came to believe that he truly was one. So he used to imagine or think himself to be a knight when he was imagining things and fantasizing. Then one day, he went crazy, and he came to believe that he truly was one.
He's kind of like one of those guys who cosplays too much until he thinks he's a character from Star Wars or
that person,
something like that. So he decided to really go for it, to embrace this new identity for himself, and he decided to change his name. He decided to call himself Don Quixote.
I dub me
You're naming yourself
Don Quixote.
That's weird. Anyways, Don Quixote, of course, thought that as a knight, he would need a squire. So he went to his neighbor, Sancho Panza. A squire would be the assistant of a knight. They would keep their weapons and armor in good shape, bring their horse for them, kind of like the, like the personal assistant of the knight.
And get this, Don Quixote told his neighbor, Sancho, that he would give him his own island to rule if he would become his squire. That is, if Don Quixote is able to conquer a bunch of lands and get an island, which he probably won't be able to do. But if he's able to do this, he'll give Sancho his own island. And because Sancho, he's not too bright, because of this, Sancho happily agreed. Okay, I'll be your squire. Let's go, Don Quixote. Anyways, speaking of going, we have gone over time, so we need to take a break right now.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这一次要读的故事是西方文学的重要作品之一《Don Quixote》唐吉訶德。故事一开始提到，很久很久以前，在西班牙的一个小村庄里，有一名男子，他把所有的时间都花在阅读上面。他沉浸在英勇骑士还有伟大的冒险故事里面，看得很入迷，以至于常常废寝忘食，忘了吃饭睡觉。他开始想象自己成为一名骑士。那过一阵子之后，他甚至开始相信自己真的是一名骑士，然后就决定自称为唐吉訶德。好 ，Don D-O-N 这个字在西班牙文里面就相当于英文的 Sir， 表示爵士地位。刚刚 Jeff 老师开玩笑说，唐吉訶德拿剑拍自己的肩膀，把自己册封为一名爵士。那老师用到 dub。D-U-B dub 这个动词，它可以表达用剑拍肩膀，然后封什么什么为爵士，或者是指授予什么样的称号。好，那身为一名骑士，唐吉訶德他就觉得自己需要一名侍从，于是就跑去找邻居 Sancho Panza 桑丘潘萨。唐吉訶德告诉桑丘说，如果他答应成为侍从，就会给他一座岛屿来让他治理。好，那这个邻居可能也傻傻的，他听得很高兴就同意了。这边有两个单字是 knight 表示古代的骑士，或者是指爵士。那中世纪的骑士会一边骑马，一边用长矛来比武。刚刚老师们提到 medieval medieval times 表示中世纪。老师还提到 armor 是指盔甲。Lance 是长矛，那么 joust 则是表达骑在马上用长矛比武。好，下一个单字 adventure。Adventure 表示冒险或是探险经历，在字尾加上 r 就变成 adventurer。Adventurer 表示冒险者。好，这里补充单字 immerse。Immerse 它表达沉浸或是使专注于什么什么，它是当动词来用。至于 squire 则是表达骑士的随扈侍从，是当名词来用。接回到课文中。
Don Quixote. The pair set off, and they soon came across a plain with many windmills. To Don Quixote, they looked like giants waving their arms. Sancho tried to convince Don Quixote there were no giants, but his efforts were in vain. Don Quixote rode forth on his horse toward one windmill, aimed his lance, and was knocked right over by one of the sails.
Okay, we've got Don Quixote and Sancho Panza, knight and squire.
That's right. So, of course, they need to go off to have adventures. So, that's what these two do. The pair, the two of them, the pair set off, and they soon came across a plain with many windmills. All right, certainly in parts of Spain you'll find plains. That's a big open flat area of land, good for growing, grain like wheat and stuff. And on a plain, since it's so flat, you might also find windmills. These are these tall buildings that we also commonly think of finding in Holland or the Netherlands. They're tall buildings with sort of sails on them, and as the wind blows, the windmill turns and it powers machinery inside. So they see these windmills, which as I said, are common in parts of Spain. But to Don Quixote, we read, they looked like giants waving their arms. They're simple windmills on simple farms, but to Don Quixote and his sort of mixed up mind, they look like evil giants. They look like giants waving their arms around, I guess, scaring the local people.
Now, Sancho tried to convince Don Quixote there were no giants, but his efforts were in vain, i.e., he wasn't able to convince Don Quixote that these windmills weren't giants. Anyways, we've got the adjective vain to talk about here. The adjective vain pretty much means useless. If you do something in vain, you do something, but you're not having the effect that you want to have. You're not getting the result that you're trying to get. For example, she tried in vain to get his attention. She tried, but she wasn't able to get his attention. Okay, so Sancho tried. He tried in vain to keep Don Quixote from doing what he's going to do next, but you can't keep Don Quixote back. He's going to rush headlong into those windmills thinking that they're giants.
That's right. When a crazy knight sees some giants, he will charge, even if they're not actually giants. So, as we read, Don Quixote rode forth on his horse toward one windmill, aimed his lance, and was knocked right over by one of the sails, which is often what happens if you attack a building, because it's, a little bit stronger. But like a brave knight, he did ride forth. Now here we're using forth, this word. It's an adverb. It's kind of an old-fashioned, old-timey word. We don't use it very much these days unless you're trying to sound like a character from a Shakespeare play, or maybe you're writing a poem or something like that. But it's good to know, because we do see it in, poems and stories and things like that. To go forth, or to ride forth, is to go onward, all right? Forth just means forward. So he rode forward on his horse. He rode ahead on his horse and attacked one of the windmills. Forth basically means onward, or to go in that direction. For example, go forth and live your life to the fullest. Sounds like a blessing or a line in a speech, but not common everyday language. So he did. He ride onwards. He attacked the windmill with his lance. That's the long spear that he kind of carries under his arm as he's riding his horse, and was promptly knocked off the horse onto his butt, onto the ground, by one of the spinning sails of the windmill. Didn't really go didn't go to plan, I guess you could say.
No, it did not.
That didn't work.
All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up day one of Don Quixote.
唐吉诃德和桑丘这一对主仆开始踏上冒险旅程。那不久之后，他们来到一片有很多风车的平原。唐吉诃德认为那些风车看起来就像是挥舞着手臂的巨人，即使桑丘试着要说服他的主子说那边没有巨人，可是却徒劳无功。那结果这一位神志不清的骑士就骑着马，对着其中一座风车就冲过去了，杀！然后他把长矛瞄准风车，结果呢，被风车的其中一面翼板打个正着，直接就被撞倒了。刚刚 Mike 老师在讲解课文时用到 charge 这个字 ，charge 当动词可以表达进攻，向什么冲过去。好，那这边还有2个单字 vain 它是形容词，形容徒劳的或者是枉然的。那我们常常用 in vain 来表达徒劳无功。至于 fourth 是当副词，它表示向前前进，意思跟 onward 或是 forward 差不多。那老师提醒我们 fourth 这个用法呢，在日常用语中很少出现哦，它是在文学作品中才比较常见。介华课文中
Don Quixote. Didn't I tell you they were windmills? Sancho cried. Don Quixote, still believing he was right, told Sancho that the giants he'd seen had magically turned into windmills just before he could strike.
All right, everyone, we're back, and we're still reading from one of the, if not most important scenes in Western literature, one of the most famous scenes in Western literature, Don Quixote versus the windmills.
That's right. It didn't go well. He attacked the windmill and he promptly got knocked off his horse by the spinning sails of the windmills. They're not giants, they're windmills. And that's what his partner, his squire, Sancho Panza, tells him. Didn't I tell you they were windmills? Sancho cried. You know, he did try to tell him it's not going to work. They're not giants. But Don Quixote saw what he wanted to see. Don Quixote, we read, still believing he was right, told Sancho that the giants he'd seen had magically turned into windmills just before he could strike. So he's kind of sticking with his story. He said, oh, they were giants, but just as I was going to attack them, they turned into windmills. You see, that's what happened.
So the giants, they had magic, or they were using magic.
Magic giants.
The adverb is magically, and it means as if by magic or with magic. But what's magic? Magic is a fake power said to be able to do impossible things. Magic doesn't exist, but Don Quixote thinks, hey, these are magic giants that turn themselves into windmills because they have that impossible power known as magic. Magic is the noun. Magically is the adverb. They did this magically. For example, the cup appeared to magically float above the desk. Oh, that's impossible. That shouldn't occur on planet Earth. Well, it's magic. It's a fake power, but it seems like it's really happening.
It's not a real floating cup.
Not a real floating cup.
The lady didn't get cut in half.
I hope not.
The rabbit isn't actually in the hat.
I hope not.
Gosh.
Be terrible for ladies and for rabbits.
So much to think about. And we have a day to think about stuff because we're finished for today. But we'll be back tomorrow with more of the adventures of Don Quixote.
看到唐吉诃德被风车的翼板撞倒，桑丘就大叫说：“啊，不是早就跟你说他们是风车了吗？”不过唐吉诃德还是相信他自己是对的。他说那一些巨人在他要攻击之前就神奇的变成风车了，看来他还真的病得不轻。我们最后来看单字 magically， 它是副词，就表示如魔法一般地，或者是神奇地、不可思议地。好啦，那么以上是这些讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。大家好，我是 Hanny。在今天的课程中，我们要介绍4个文法重点。第一个是句型 so 加上形容词或副词加上 that 子句。第二个是 who 引导关系子句的非限定用法。第三个是过去完成式 had 加上过去分词。第4个是片语动词 turn into。首先，我们来学习句型 so 加上形容词或副词加上 that 子句，这表示如此怎么样，以至于怎么样，非常怎么样，结果怎么样。那这个句型是用来强调 so 后面的形容词或副词的程度，以至于造成 that 子句描述的结果。 例如 She was so nervous that her stomach got upset. 她非常紧张，结果胃变得不舒服了。接下来，我们来学习 who 引导关系子句的非限定用法。Who 当关系代名词时，用来代指是人的先行词。当先行词是明确或特定的对象时 ，who 引导的子句是用来补充说明先行词。那么 who 的前方要加上逗号。如果关系子句是摆在句中的时候，子句的前后都必须加上逗号。那这就是非限定用法。例如 Christine, who thought that she heard a knock on the door, walked to the door and looked through the peephole.Christine 认为她听到敲门声，她走向门，从门上的小孔看出去。例句中的关系子句 who thought that she heard a knock on the door 是用来补充说明 Christine 的状态。那可以将关系代名词 who 省略，并将主动的动词 thought 改成现在分词 thinking。句子会简化成 Christine, thinking that she heard a knock on the door, walked to the door and looked through the peephole.接下来，我们来学习过去完成式 had 加上过去分词，这表示在过去某个动作或时间点之前就已经完成的动作或是事情。那它常常搭配过去简单式使用，比较早发生的用过去完成式，晚发生的是用过去简单式。例如His parents had fallen asleep when he got home. 当他到家时，他爸妈已经睡着了。最后，我们来学习片语动词 turn into， 表示变成、成为。例如 ，If you heat ice, it turns into water. 如果把冰加热，冰会变成水。另外，我们可以用 turn A into B 来表达把 A 变成 B。例如 ，In the story.The witch uses magic to turn the prince into a frog. 在故事里面，巫婆用魔法把王子变成青蛙了。以上是今天的重点整理，我们下次见喽 ！See you next time. Bye.
欢迎收看就爱讲英文，我是悠悠，
我是志然。
平常在国内转账英文叫做 transfer， 但是如果在外国跟台湾需要汇钱怎么办呢？
电汇哈，所以
对啊
呢，国际汇款的相关用语。
对，所以呢，转账到别的银行或是外国的账户应该怎么说？
那这就是国际汇款了。
对
国际汇款我们叫做 international remittance。International
remittance，
这个字有点难念哈 ，remittance。那它的动词是 remit，R-E-M-I-T，就是汇款，国际电汇。
remit。
对对，那一般的这个方式呢，你可以说 telegraphic transfer， 电汇。
telegraphic transfer，
或者是 personal wire transfer。personal
wire transfer，wire。
对啊，
不就电线那个啊？难怪。那我也可以用网络汇款啊，怎么说？
当然，你可以说 Can I wire money online?
Can I wire money online?
OK
我想要把这笔钱寄到德国去。
汇到德国。I would like to wire some money to Germany.
I would like to wire some money to Germany. 那既然是国际汇款，就免不了有手续费啦。
手续费对吧？
手续费不手续费，
就是 service charge.
Service charge.
Service charge. 傻逼鼠要 charge 一
下。Yeah.
Service charge 或者是呢，因为他帮你汇款这个动作，所以呢，你也可以说是 transfer fee.
Transfer fee.
对，那通常都还蛮贵的这样。对，我们国内的话就是6块钱嘛，那国外的话就好几百哦。对，呀，看他死。
哎呦，好可怕哦！
看一下今天的
live action.
Hi.
Hello. I need some help with international remittance.
International remittance. I'll be glad to assist you with that.
Can I wire some money online as well?
Yeah, yes you can.
I would like to wire some money to Germany. Shh.
Germany?
Germany. To my fiancé. Shh.
Okay, just a reminder. There will be a $200 NT service charge.
Okay.